the legislators have gone on record lately to state that teaching is a part-time job, and since teachers are done at 3 o'clock, and they have the summers off, it's just a part-time job. They have no clue, do they? This legislature will refuse again to pass the Equal Rights Amendment so that they continue to have control over women and their professional lives. Mike Caradopoulos so much as assured me that he would make sure that it would never get out of committee. So, let me ask you again. Somebody elected them. Why? What issue? Abortion? Do you really think that voting for supposedly pro-life candidates is going to help teachers? Do you think that stopping abortion will help the police and firefighters? No. And don't for one moment call them pro-life. Because if this governor and these legislators cared at all about life, they'd worry about the child once it takes its first breath. Yes! If they really were pro-life, they'd provide health care for all children. If this governor and these legislators really were pro-life, they wouldn't cut off any of the preschool or after-school programs that the government pays for. They wouldn't cut the free lunch or the breakfast program so that a child would not sit hungry in a classroom instead of being nourished and ready to learn. And if they really cared about life, this governor and these legislators would not cut the pay, would not cut the benefits, and would not cut the number of teachers that will be needed to educate the children of our community. That's what you call pro-life. But speaking of women and the anti-choice movement, which is really what the pro-life movement is, there are at least a dozen new bills that were introduced as of last Friday that are anti-woman. They are really control over women, control over women's reproductive organs, and control over women's lives. And where are the jobs created for this time-wasting, taxpayer-funding assault on women? Where are the jobs? This governor and these legislators do not care if your daughter is violently raped and impregnated by a vile, disgusting criminal. These new bills, which are currently being introduced as we speak in the Florida legislature, will require a woman who is a victim of violent crime to suffer and be forced to bear that pregnancy because this governor and these legislators just don't care about women. You see, so many folks out there, including many in this crowd, don't vote. Many who do vote do so because someone told them who to vote for instead of doing the research. Many vote based on sound bites or the last commercial that they heard before heading to the poll. And quite frankly, I can't imagine why any woman in America would ignore her privilege to vote. So many of our grandmothers suffered and were tortured in order for us to have the right to vote. How could we turn our backs on these women? So please, the next election, no matter whether it's for one candidate or dozens of candidates, please vote. Know who you'll be voting for and know why you'll be voting. Bring a friend with you and realize and tell people there's voting by mail, there's early voting, so there's really no excuse not to vote. Because those folks who don't vote and really don't care fall into the category of my second Latin phrase, and let's all here pledge not to be part of that one. Populus asini sunt. The masses are asses. So power to the people, the workers.